If a general manager said they were scared that AI was going to take their job, what would you say to them?
I would start by asking why, because the majority of that is probably news related. I would ease them by letting them know the F&P that we entirely operate to empower our folks with AI, never to replace them. And anything that we build and then we build for other folks is in no way, shape, or form built to replace somebody. We had this conversation a while back on a different pod. Don't go and replace systems yet. Just go and give your people some powers.
Even people building this stuff took months to actually get it. John, when most people hear about AI in restaurants, they're thinking robots, AI drive-thrus, AI cooks, machines replacing people. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about why that thinking's wrong, or how even, how to unlearn that, I should say. So talking about a little bit about the misconception, right? So be honest. When you heard AI and restaurants in the same sentence, what was the first thing that scared you?
We've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but it was mainly on the hospitality side, right? Is like everybody was going to focus on the AI in the drive-thru, the AI cashier, the kiosk versus person. And like we had an interesting conversation this past week with somebody who introduced kiosks to their restaurants and the way they went about the hospitality side. So maybe we can get into that a little bit later. But and that was wildly interesting. But I think when I first heard it, it was like, man, we're just going to make this entire dining experience robotic. And that to me was not empowering the industry correctly.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of part of the misconception is everyone who hears AI or robotics, like that's kind of what's being shown on the news or on social media. It's like they're seeing these robots
clicks, right?
making hamburgers. They're seeing no humans in a restaurant and believe that
those things exist.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, like they do. And it's really just the choice of the operator of how they want to take this. That's true. It's also the choice of the customer of where they want to go eat. And I think once they get enough robotic experiences, they're probably going to be over it.
They might even have like this, it's almost like yesterday we ordered a burger and it was like, man, I can actually taste the fire, the taste,
dude,
it's
out,
different.
Dude, DQ on 23rd, yeah. Man, those burgers are fire.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if a robot's cooking the burger, it's obviously set on a timer, it's going to cook it the same. I really don't know what it tastes like.
Consistency will probably be there, but there's just something about it, man. I mean, the love is missing, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. So a couple questions I put together for you. So what was the dumbest thing that you tried to use AI for before you actually figured out what it was good for?
Other than making myself fly through the air for my kids, but let's see. Oh man, there's been so many. I tried to remake a task management platform. To me, that's pretty dumb because I was just like, what's the point at the end of the day? Like, there's like a million that exist. But honestly, what's the dumbest thing? I don't know. What about you?
Man,
I'm gonna think through it while you're answering that, because there's a lot of them, man. I mean,
I can't think of like the dumbest thing, but I feel like I just try to do like random things. So it's like, one of them, for example, is, I'm a golfer. So there's
that's not dumb. The thing
no, not dumb. That's what I'm saying. I like do random things. So it's like, I pay a monthly subscription for a mobile app that tracks the yardage, on while you're playing golf. So I was like, man, why am I paying this monthly subscription for me to play golf, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I just mimicked exactly what that application does, but try to even one-up it. So it's like, hey, if I want to golf with some friends, let's throw some games in there or some bets in there, whatever we want to do, really, you know what I mean? But kind of just a little more tailored to ourselves. So I wouldn't say it's dumb. It's just dumb cool, I guess.
Okay, I can go on both sides of the spectrum. So on the dumb side, I think probably the dumbest thing I've ever made is the daily dad joke generator for myself. But on the random side, like, dude, I've gone to the point of like not automating my expenses, because there's nothing automated there other than, developing bill buckets in general, just kind of financial clarity, right? but also to the projection side, understanding my taxes throughout the year versus waiting to the end of the year. Because at this point, like my tax situation, I just click one button and it generates all my tax files, and then it's ready for my CPA. You know what I mean? So, because I mean, right now it's just data, right?
Yeah.
It's just the data that you have. What do you do with it? And I think Bob showed me a video the other day of, it was a comedy skit, but it was like, just ask AI what we need. But it's so true. Like,
Yeah.
like ingest that data and then ask AI, what can I do with this data? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to really think about it first. But there's that. Let's see. I'm a huge TCG person, so like trading cards and stuff like that, and I have, a plethora of that. So having a decent understanding of my collection and stuff like that, and the way it moves in the market and stuff.
Oh,
So
man, that's pretty
are
cool.
I mean, dude, it goes off. Like anything that I can somehow build an application around in my life and make it easier, I mean, I'm gonna do it. It takes me no time anymore.
Yeah. The one that, I feel like gets a lot of pushback all the time is the finance part. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it's almost like, well, why are you trusting AI with finance, data? Like that
Why
data
am I
should
trusting a
be-
computer with math?
Yeah. So it's like, what would you say to someone in that case? That's like,
Um,
because the
You know-
first thing they're going to say is that's not secure. You know what I mean?
the end of the day, what you put in is what you're going to get out. So understanding how clear your data is step number one. And then when you're getting into the financial realm and accounting realm and auditing realm and all that stuff, it's not going to be perfect on round one. It's never going to be perfect round one. You need to ingest it, you need to audit it, you need to make what you're trying to make, and then you need to go back and compare it. So the way that I like to operate is usually I'll build blindly, right? I'll ingest a lot of the data for accounting. I'll build blindly and try and recreate without even seeing what they actually ended up with for the past months. I'll try and recreate a few past months, and then I'll compare once I'm ready. And when I compare, that's when I start seeing all the holes in my system. And then that's where the system starts giving me questions to ask our team, right? Of like, how did you get to this number? Did this number change when you pulled this report? And then the story gets told through that process, that auditing process. And then you end up with a very similar result to what they had.
Yeah.
And that's the auditing part of it. And then when you get to that result, now you can start replicating that result consistently moving forward. But the key always is, in the moment that we live right now, that an auditor needs to be put in place, right? The person who was used to be doing that can now be checking it versus doing it, right? And auditing and making sure it's correct and finding ways to improve it as well. That's the time we're giving back to these people is trying to, a good use of their time at this point is finding methods to ease the data entry portion, but also improve their day-to-day and how we're operating as a whole, and thinking about, in a perfect world, I wish this existed. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
We can do it. Yeah.
Before getting off that topic, what would your answer be to somebody who asks you the question of, how do you ensure that information isn't leaked in any way or is secure with the AI? How can you trust your AI, your agents, to even handle any of your personal finances or any business finances for that matter?
There's three buckets here, I think, that I'm thinking about it a little bit. But bucket number one, local agents that houses, it's on-prem, right? So like right here, we have the brain with a couple local agents there, or the studio and a mini, but those local agents operate here in a private network that you set up. Nothing's leaving this network or this building or this room practically, and all of those equations and operations are happening here. You can take that a step further, not further, but a different form of it, and use cloud agents, but with ZDR contracts, zero data retention contracts. And those are usually team, enterprise, business level subscriptions that you're getting with these cloud agents. And with those, they're not training on your data. They're not storing your data. Some store it for like 30 days and then they eradicate it after that. So that's something to look out for if that bothers you. Definitely choose another provider. But zero data retention is the option for cloud agents. And then lastly, there's folks who might not care very much and who, are squeaky clean in themselves and don't really care about who knows or sees what.
So
and
at that point, just use a free
just use whatever you want.
subscription and be okay with.
I would never use free.
Yeah.
because at that point you're the product, right?
Yeah, yeah, no,
And then
no,
you're
that's
the
why.
person getting advertised to and all that stuff.
So
So
that's something important these individuals need to understand also is
yeah,
don't use the free product
I mean, it's
unless you're okay with
unless
being
you're okay
yeah.
with being the product. But
Cool.
yeah, that would be my answer
If
there.
if John, if you had to describe where your head was 12 months ago versus where it is now, what changed
Whoa.
and what do you wish somebody had told you on day one?
And this is going to be possible. It would be a great start on day one, right? Because day one, I mean, where was I a year from now? Or a year, yeah, let's see. Yeah, man, I was knee deep in product development, dealing with developers and seeing the magic they were creating really in a very fast basis compared to a year before that. Because everything was taking forever, right? In a normal development process. And then everything just started getting really fast on the product development side. And then that's something I started taking notice of. And instead of being on the creative realm with AI, as well as the administrative and operational realm with AI, I dove straight into the development side. So going back to your question, man, I don't, it feels like an eternity ago. I don't know. What about you?
I guess if I put myself 12 months ago, I probably would have wished somebody told me to start leveraging Claude a lot more for agentic work because I feel like I was behind in that area. I felt like I was ahead of the curve using other models other solutions like ChatGPT or Gemini for that matter.
Yeah.
But it was more so in a administrative workload style and a more write for me, a more document things for me, research things for me, and it was helping me a lot. But I feel like when I thought about Claude, I had just this. It's weird. Like now that I talk about Claude more, I hear the same thing from more people, and it's like, man, well, I don't know if I like Claude because it kind of just it seems slow. And I feel like every model, like this is what I also wish I would have known before. Every model serves its own purpose also. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why there was different models. I didn't understand that even within models, there was different speeds.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that there was so much possibility with coding in there as well through those models. And it was like, that's probably one thing I wish I would have had, 12 months ago, because it would have sped me up so much, and I feel like I'm already catching up to where I probably would have been. But that's probably what I would answer.
The crazy part about that is a year ago, none of this agentic stuff existed. Really, none of the work operations that we're doing today really existed. I mean, it was very base level on the coding assistant. And then on the other side, it was base level for creative. It was base level for research. It was, it's crazy to think
And
about
it's moving
that.
at a rapid speed. It's
And then we have them releasing Quinn 27B, the 3.8 model that just came out, and that's relative to Opus, Claude's model that they had. What is it, like 4 months ago? But now running on something that is under 20 gigs of RAM. So it's like, what is happening right now? It's a pretty wild world, man.
Yeah. AI didn't come for our people. It came for the task that was holding them back. So, John, if a general manager walked to you right now and said they were scared that AI was going to take their job, what would you say to them?
I would start by asking why, to get to the root of it, and to hear kind of where their fears lie, because the majority of that is probably news related, headline related. And then I would ease them by letting them know the way that we think about AI, because at F&P that we entirely operate to empower our folks with AI, never to replace them. And anything that we build and then we build for other folks is in no way, shape, or form built to replace somebody.
Yeah.
It's built to shift the job. There's no doubt about that. But that's life, right? I mean, a job shifts constantly year to year as technology comes out and new ways of doing things come out. And this is just one of those moments. So yeah, instead of doing the data entry, you're auditing it. Instead of creating the spreadsheets, you're reviewing them and making sure they're perfect, or being the one that takes it to production, or whatever it might be, right? So I would let them know our mentality behind it. And then I would show them what we're doing and how powerful it can be for them. And I think that will shift them radically.
For sure, man, for sure. What's the most ridiculous thing someone has said to you about AI, or why AI doesn't belong in a restaurant, for that matter?
It doesn't work.
That's it. Like
It's a very surface level response. Like I said before, it's very news headline related. And also, like I said before, it's as good as what you put in. So what I think about immediately when somebody says that, it's usually, well, you probably don't understand how to talk to it that much, and how to go back and forth on a specific topic, or your data might be corrupted a little bit, probably worth looking into. Yeah, so I would say that's probably the most, not ridiculous thing, but it's kind of a disheartening thing to hear. Just feels a little closed-minded.
Yeah. Is there a version of this where the fear is actually right?
Yes, the fear is actually right when you start trying to make it replace folks.
I see.
Because it's not going to do it, and it's gonna open up more issues than you think it's going to solve.
That's just when AI in a restaurant goes too far.
Yeah, I think that's just when it goes too far. When you give it full control over drive-through, I mean, we need to test this and we need to look into it and see how we can revolve hospitality around it. But like, when you start giving it full control over areas, I think you're gonna run into some issues.
Yeah. If you could go back and introduce AI to our team differently, what would you do that you didn't do the first time?
Instead of co-work, I'd have them work on code.
Good one.
And that sounds crazy, but I just feel like I didn't do myself a disservice, but I felt like I'm not giving enough credit to folks and their creativity to be able to start developing and building their own stuff. And that's where I plan on taking majority of this, on at least the support level and executive level and stuff, is I ideally would like everybody editing their own platforms and their own dashboards and their own automations and their own processes, because at this point, it's really just an understanding of prompting, an understanding how to communicate. And on my side, it's putting the correct restrictions in place, the actions on GitHub, just parameters that they need to follow, whatever it might be, and setting them up for success, and then giving them the availability. And I see this happening with Grokbot. I feel like there's a world where Grokbot becomes team-oriented, and you're giving specific people agents. And like Denise might get an HR bot, and that HR bot can edit her HR platform. And it understands my restrictions I put in place, understands the actions it has to run through and the permissions it needs to have, and all that jazz. And then give her the ability to be like, I don't like the summary that it's giving me for these incident reports. I would rather it be shorter and sweeter. I'd rather have the imagery above the actual emailing communication stuff. So like those little things, I wish I had done already, but I'm still gonna do at some point. Yeah.
I mean, AI has been moving faster and faster and faster every day, and like to your point, so much of the agentic pieces of this weren't even fully in place at the time either. So I think we're getting to a really good place here in our business, obviously. But I absolutely love that answer, because I feel like others may have that concern, like, man, at what point am I giving team members too much access to, technology to where it can almost become destructive, and like maybe even, I don't know, like maybe expose information out that shouldn't be exposed out. So, I mean, let's just use HR, for example, employee information.
Yeah.
But by you having those perimeters in place and having security in place, et cetera, that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let you do that. Our local models are going to say something like, hey, sorry, like this looks like a red flag.
Break
what
something.
I mean? Yeah. So I absolutely love that. If a restaurant operator is watching this right now and they still think AI is just robots, gimmicks, what do you want to say to them directly?
Give your leadership team the superpower of some sort of agent. Just give them just give them access and just see what happens. And just see, it's magic, man. And I would start there. I would, like, we had this conversation a while back on a different pod, but don't go and replace systems yet. Just go and give your people some powers. And I think what you're gonna see is more confidence develop in the product, but also more ideas start happening. And then I think you're gonna start seeing people's day shift in a positive way to affect the company. I'm trying to say this appropriately because it's like a lot of people fear a lot of the tasks on their plate, especially in executive level or higher up support level. So removing that fear and giving them the ability to fly, it will show, and you'll be wildly impressed. Yeah.
For sure, man. Well, AI didn't come for our people. It came for the things that were keeping them from being great. Subscribe, share. This is RestroTech.